day 4, October 8th. For this afternoon's hunt, we're going to stay after the same deer that we were hunting yesterday evening, the buck that we had nicknamed, or I'd nicknamed the Bladed 10. The spot we're going to is about 300 yards from where that camera was sitting that was getting those daylight pictures of the buck about a week to 10 days ago, probably closer to 10 days ago now. It's down in the valley. It's another one of these same types of spots that we hunted yesterday and the one that Drake hunted the day before that. These little small isolated openings back in the timber. This one's planted to pure trophy clover, and last I checked it was looking pretty good in there. I mowed it maybe about a couple weeks ago, so I think it should be attracting deer. I have not ran a camera in there, so I don't know specifically if there's any bucks coming in there that would be potential shooters, but like I said, it's right on the fringe and pretty close to where we were getting all those pictures of that Bladed 10. So it'll be a lot of fun. It's a redneck blind that helps us to contain the odors down in that valley. Anytime you're hunting in a valley like that, you get the swirling wind. But at least in the blinds, you can either close all the windows or you can open one window and turn the ozonics on and for the most part, contain your odor. It's a south wind today, about 10 to 15 miles an hour, pretty good little solid wind. It's warmer than I'd like, right around 70, but it'll cool off probably into the mid 50s, upper 50s by sunset this evening. So there's no reason why a deer couldn't move in these conditions. I mean, if nothing else, it'll be a good chance to get in there, check this spot out, and get it ready for later in the season when the conditions are maybe a little bit better.
Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Cuddyback, Drake Non-Typical, Easton Arrows, Frigid Forage, Fuse, Grizzly Coolers, Hoyt, and Realtree.
Got an hour left in my evening hunt. We just had several deer in the plot. The only one left in there right now is the little spike buck, and he's about 20 yards away right in front of the blind. There was a doe that was working right down the middle of the plot, and I decided I was going to go ahead and shoot her once she got into my window. We've only got one window open in the blind, the one corner window, and before she could get into position, they started running around, and I don't know if they were playing or what they were doing, and that spike started chasing them, and doe and two fawns. Now they're all gone except for that spike. So I never did get a shot, but it might be for the best anyway, because it's still pretty early, and the commotion of having that doe busting off the plot might be enough to slow down whatever activity is going to come this evening. Wanted to talk for just a real quick minute about hunting out of these blinds. And I know that some of our viewers don't like to watch hunts from blinds, and I understand that. They're not as much fun to watch for me either when I'm watching, hunts from other people or from our pro staff. But the reality of it is that these blinds serve a really important purpose from the standpoint of just the strategy of the hunt. There's certain places that we can't get away with hunting from trees. I mean, we've tried it, I've tried it. What is this, I started bow hunting when I was 14 and I'm 56 now, so that's 42 years. I've tried it a lot, and it doesn't usually work very well. The situations that don't work are when you're right on the food. These little spots like this where the deer are really active and they spend a lot of time. They don't just pass through, because it seems like no matter what you do, eventually you get caught in the tree, especially if there's two of you. And then the other situation is when you're in a spot where the wind can swirl, where it's not consistent. So that's where the blinds really come in, and they're also, as you get older, obviously they're a lot safer than climbing up into a tree, and a lot of our population is aging, our hunting population. And I think blinds have gotten a lot more popular because of that too, because they're effective, and they're super safe, and they're pretty comfortable. And then the one we're sitting in right now is a Redneck 6x7 big country blind, and Drake and I are sitting in here commenting about how awesome it is to have this much space. So I just thought I'd kind of clear the air a little bit on why blinds play such a role. Here comes something. What is this? Hold on. It's a doe. It just came burning in here. I think that spike went up and chased her out of the brush. She's still right down here, so I'm going to cut my interview off right now and see if she works right up past. Go a little bit further up. Yeah. Picking up where I left off when I got interrupted by that doe coming burning down here. It always gets darker inside the blinds than it would in a tree stand, just because, obviously we're enclosed. So I'm going to wrap up my interview now. About 45 minutes of legal shooting time left. And I don't see anything in the plot right now. So anything that we show you from here until the end is what came out during these last 45 minutes. Still prime time. It's really, really nice out. I mean, I'd say the wind maybe is almost too still. We see that around here sometimes when it gets super still. The deer just don't really move that well. But it looks like the wind dropped right down to nothing. So it's probably just thermals like it was last night. If that's the case, they're going straight down the valley behind me. So keep checking back again this week. I'm going to be out at least again tomorrow evening. Not sure after that. I need to look at the forecast and figure out what the family's doing, but there's 3 bucks that I've identified so far that are shooters on the farm, and we're going to just kind of pick away at it. We're not going to get too aggressive, but we're going to spend some time in the areas where those 3 bucks live while we keep looking for more. So check back and we'll show you the action as it comes right here. That was pretty interesting there, because that doe, I think she had 2 fawns with her. In fact, they're still standing up there, but they came right down the trail that we walked in on, and they didn't show any sign of caution. So I don't know why they didn't pick up any of our ground scent. I had mowed that trail about a couple weeks ago, so maybe that's why. Maybe they just weren't picking it up on the grass, but that was pretty fun. I mean, probably 15 yards away. Doesn't seem like I get very many shots that are that close, but that was pretty cool. Still got about 15 minutes left, maybe a little bit more than that. So with a little bit of luck, who knows? Something else could come out.